Aboro Aboye. Good morning. This is Oluo Fakolade of IdinKaa Temple, and we want to start with morning prayers today. We pray that everyone is well. Ashe. Mojuba Olorun, Mojuba Leta, Mojuba Lorun Mare, Mojuba Bobo Rumale, Mojuba Bobo Imale, Mojuba Bobo Egun Timbile, Soloro Mare, Mojuba Shungwade, Mojuba Guade, Mojuba Frog Namus, Mojuba Tumo, Mojuba Flori, Mojuba Palakoi, and Mojuba Filipizalua, Mojuba Gonjobi, Mojuba Miye, Mojurisha Mola, Mojurisha Lanko, Mojomi Konade, Mojuba should be Mojuba Segmana, the form of the first, I won't babati. It's your day. He hears people, please accept, please. He hears people, please approve, please. He talks to people, shows the talks, and please Lord. He hears people, please accept, please. Name be fire. He hears people, please improve, please. Name should die. He who talks, please shows the talk, is complete Lord. His name boy Shanla. Or Shanla is the person knows one things. Person knows one kind of fail to impress one. Strike frogs on some rainfall. Bull frogs on some downpour. It is whatever that get ready to phone to tells earth, what that accepts. Whatever the big rat tells earth, what they accepts. All what I tell you, Father, please accept them and approve them. Father, we call on you. We ask for all of your blessings. We thank you. To show gratitude upon gratitude is the all of our gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the all of our benevolence. Whoever's got your gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such person on today's cruelty, these decorations to the phone to run room there, going to marry Okwe, other rich Buji, these also decorating for to a room. We're going to marry Okwe, other rich Buji. I'm grateful to see my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I see today's gratuity. Oh, Terete, we're very grateful. I share. Awadupe, awabure, 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 adupe, awabure, tunebo, olodumare, awadupe, awabure. Awadupe, awabure, adupe, awabure, orieni, awadupe, awabure, awadupe, awabure, adupe, awabure, igumole, awadupe, awabure, awadupe, awabure, adupe, awabure, tunebo, legulorisha, awadupe, awabure, awadupe, awabure. Adupe, awabure, tunebo. Ola Demar, the divinities. We ask for your forgiveness. Please forgive us for the times that we have forgotten our divinity, forgotten ourselves. Pounding down without supervision to consume. These decorations far to a tutu, the child of our benefit. He was full of bad character. These bad actions have prevented information she finds domain. Now comes to list on behalf of the tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of the tutu. Father, please be patient, overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of the tutu. How many children does Ifa have that he would cast one out? Those who beg on behalf of the tutu. Ifa, we call on you. Oh dear Lord, Ifa, please ward off our death, ward off our sickness, ward off cases and controversies, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and outright fights from us. Bring to us all the good things in life. Oh dear Lord, Ifa says time to sleep. I put his time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met a room in the 16th room where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of life. He was very dressed with a bloodstains. He was snowing heavily. They told him that daily from Cypher. Roman guard was still look at it brought. They told him they brought 2 rats with running, 2 fish birds consuming, 2 birds with in flight, and 2 goats with big livers. The rumor said that was not enough to wake him up. I admit my ignorance, please educate me. I hide myself in your bosom and survive. Let all kind masquerades be Agba John repeatedly. Let all kind masquerades who be Agba John repeatedly because of children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. These are the ones that show the followers wisdom. Aruna tells them to get alligator pepper, to get colonus, to get bitter corner, to get alcohol. Dear Capo got the alligator pepper. He got the colonus. He got the bitter corner. I ain't got the alcohol. That is right. Now he's fully awake. Arumla, when you feel like, please look at me with your eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that the heavenly stars usually look at the stars below. Arumla, when you feel like the God help one to secure great wealth, they set good eyes. The heavenly stars usually look at the stars below. Arumla, when you feel like the God help one to secure good spouse, they set good eyes. My spouse is usually looking at me with. Arumla, when you feel like the God help one to bear many children, they set good eyes. A child should use to look where they play. Deep for a long night to find in the midst of all of your life. Ifa, we call on you. Osharuela, please help so that our prayers would manifest. Protect us, continue to protect us from death, sickness, cases, and controversy, our fights. Litigation, losses in our fights. Ifa, we ask that you would support us. Osharuela, I kick anybody side. I try sharply against the truth. Ifa for a woman when he was to receive by not share from a little more. If no one says wealthy, surely we wealthy. I kick anybody side. The mouth was Ifa not share. The mouth now will. If no one have joy, surely joy. I kick anybody side. The mouth was Ifa not share. The mouth now will. If no one have peace, surely peace. I kick anybody side. The mouth was Ifa not share. The mouth now will. If no one have all the good things of life, you should surely have all good things of life. I kick anybody side. The mouth was Ifa not share. The mouth now will. Amen. Shall it be? Oh shit. Tiny of the feet of the sacrifice coming is not big enough to use his headgear. Had I been enough to use his headgear, I would have taken it home and adorned my head with it. These Ifa's decorations to Orilla. We're going on a spiritual mission to Jebelin. We've called locals being sent pay money. We've called on the salt seller and pay her money. We've called on the salt seller and make her rich. Ifa, support us. Help this to manifest. Ashe. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Bóun tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bà o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Bóun tí mo bá màmá wí o, ìrúmọlẹ̀ ó bà. Ifá ó bà o, Ashe Orisha lẹ́nu mi. Timon duro, Timon shure, Timon baire, Timon shure, Timon kule, Timon shure, Timon joko, Timon shure, Ire Timon supori Timon, Timon duro, Timon shure, Timon baire, Timon shure. Bimo kule, Bimo shure, Bimo joko, Bimo shure, Ire Bimo. Now, if we can hold on to our heads, our Ori, our head is our good luck charm. Ori ani larure ani o, Ori ani larure ani, Mojulo mi fa amori, Ori ani. Larure eni, ori eni, larure eni o, ori eni, larure eni, mojulo mufa amori, ori eni, larure eni. Bobore chasu, Ifa oba Ọlọ́run. Àti bàtájú, Ifá ọba Ọlọ́run, ó ṣe àrò ìlà Ifá ti bọ́. Gbogbo retí àṣù, Ifá ọba Ọlọ́run, àti bàtájú, Ifá ọba Ọlọ́run, ó ṣe àrò ìlà all in the bar and the divinity, please come. Ward off all death, ward off all sickness, ward off all cases and controversy, ward off fights, ward off litigation, losses and our fights, ward off witchcraft and negative forces from us. Bring us long life. Give us good spouse, good children, peace of mind, healing, victory, and all the wonderful things of life. Push away COVID-19 from us. Push away evil. Push away all the challenges from us. And in this place, bring to us long life, good spouse, good children, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all the good things of life. Ashe, aboro aboye. Ashe, aboro aboye. Please, Olodumare, hear our prayers. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I need to read the back. Aboru, oye, eyin babalawo, eyan iboru, oye, aboru, oye. Aboru aboye. This is Oluo Fakolade of IdinKaa Ifa Temple. We're so happy to have you all today. So today's topic is going to be a very interesting one. It is about Ifa is greater than them all. Following the Orisha, following the advice of Ifa and trusting the Orisha, and following the examples of the Orishas and the Irumole. So before we jump into this, I want to begin with prayer. Olodumare, please support us. Please ward off all death, ward off sickness, cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses, and outright fights, all the challenges that are around us. Please ward them off right now. In its place, bring to us long life. Give us wealth, stable homes, protect us from COVID-19, protect us from all manner of losses, cancer, AIDS, diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension. Protect us from these things. Protect us from poverty and loss, degradation, crime, white supremacy, racism. Protect us from all these things. Give us longevity, prosperity, victory over adversity, peace of mind, joy, healing, and all the wonderful things of life. Ashe. So as I said before, we're going to use our prayers and we're going to use the Irumole as our examples. So these are special incantations, special names for specific Irumole to come and support us. Emma kamimeni ama, Emma kamimeni anu. Emma kamimeni adelo kun tamole tori Ifa lonimi ebora timpanini eni banami awon anti Ifa lelejo Ifa. We ask you, if anyone is coming after us, if anyone is bringing us down, if anyone is bringing us danger, problems, wherever they are, if they have a problem with us, they have a problem with you. So you will protect us always. Ashe, aboru aboye. So as I said before, today's talk is very special and specific because a lot of times when we think about the Orishas and the Irumole, you know, so many times when people come to a divination, they come and they say, who's my Orisha? And then we go and we find out and all of these things, or we talk about how in traditional Ifa, you can have more than one Orisha, more than one Irumole can support your head. But when we look at these things, the other thing that I find is, I want to ask you, what is the religion of Oshun? What is the religion of Shango? What is the spiritual practice of Eshu? What is the spiritual practice of Ifa? What is the spiritual practice of the Irumole? So as we ask that question, I want to respond with one of my brothers who just posted on there, Ifajuwan. Ifajuwan's name actually means Ifa is greater than them all. So what does this mean in relation to what we're talking about? So what we're talking about is the times that the Irumole casted Ifa. The times that the Irumole also went and got initiated to Ifa. The times when various Irumole wanted to bring Ifa or Orunmila as their savior. They wanted to take him as the one that they go to and look to. And we must understand that also Olodumare himself casted Ifa. Olodumare himself was initiated. Olodumare's Odu is Idin Isun. So when we talk about all of these things, we have to be very much aware that the Irumole and the Orisha, they too were initiated to Ifa. The only one that we know of that was not initiated to Ifa was Osain. But there are many stories about all various Irumole going to Ifa initiation and also consulting with Ifa. So when we look at this, the deeper question is, once again, what is the religion of Shango? What is the spiritual practice of Oshun? Is Oshun initiated into herself? Oshun is just Oshun. When we look at Ifa, Ifa is the thing that supports and sustains these Irumole as it supports and sustains us. Here is Ifa verse of the Odu Ogbe Otumopo. Asumonsi Abidi Jangele cast Ifa for the one leg of Ogbe. When he was going to the home of Shango on an Ifa mission, he was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Now, the one leg of Ogbe, Awo of Shango, cast Ifa for Shango when Shango was suffering from great ailments, and he was wondering when he would be healthy again. He was advised to offer a bow and go to the stream for Ifa initiation. Shango complied with the advice. He offered a bow and he went to the stream to be initiated to Ifa. After all of the rites were performed, Shango became healthy and strong again. Now, Arira, do not strike there. The home of the Babalawo, do not strike there. Travelers to Ipo and Ofatan, the thunderstone will never be directed to the home of a Babalawo. Ashe. So this is such a powerful verse. Let me tell you the story. So Shango at this time was extremely, extremely sick. And when we think about how sick Shango was, let's think about the current crisis that we're in. It is this COVID crisis. Let's say, for example, to personify this even more, let's say Shango had COVID-19. He had the equivalent of what that was in this verse. So what happened is Shango was a good individual, a great Irumole, and he was giving money out and sharing and blessing various people. And the people that he blessed, when he got really, 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 really sick, they began to flee from him. They began to leave him. And the main reason why is because they were like, oh my God, Shango is contagious. So many of them left Shango's side, one because he was contagious and they didn't want to get sick either. And two, that he had given them everything that he could, so now he was depleted and he had nothing else to give. So those people who are leeches, what they end up doing is when you don't have anything else for them to leech off of, what do? They leave. So they left Shango alone. And at this time, he had very little money, no money. And he then went and called the Babalawo known as One Leg of Ogbe. And One Leg of Ogbe, before he went on the mission to help Shango, he knew that it was a really big and auspicious occasion. He knew, oh my God, this is something huge. I got to go help the king of thunder, the king of fire. I got to go help Shango. How am I going to do this and be successful? So he himself, One Leg of Ogbe, that's the name of the Babalawo. He cast Ifa. And his Babalawo's name was Asumonsi Abidi Jangele. That was the Babalawo who cast Ifa for One Leg of Ogbe. And what did this Babalawo say? So Asumonsi Bidi Jangele told One Leg of Ogbe, what you need to do is Shango needs to be initiated. He needs to be initiated into Ifa. He knows his purpose, but now we need to share with him how he's going to find his purpose in this realm. So he told one leg of Ogbe this information, and he also told him to offer a bow. So when one leg of Ogbe shows up to Shango's house, he then casts Ifa for Shango. And of course, the Babalawo knew by the Odu Ogbe Oturupon that was the Ifa that confirmed what Ashunwosi and Bidi Jangele had told him. It was confirmed now. Yes, I must initiate Shango and have Shango offer in order to save his life, or in order to save his energy here. So then he goes and he tells Shango to go to the stream to initiate you and go Tefa. And Shango goes and he gets the Tefa made. And as they were doing the rituals and the baths that a person undergoes when they go through a Tefa initiation, Shango's lumps, his lymph nodes began to dissipate. The lumps on his body began to go away as he was washed with the Omiero, as he was washed with all of the sacred items that we use when we do a Tefa. All of the illness began to dissipate from his body. And as the time continued, as the ritual ended, Shango was a new man. By the end of the Tefa ceremony, Shango was strong again. So as a result, Shango vowed, I will never direct my energy, my fury, on the home of a Babalawo. I will never direct Thunderstone on the home of a Babalawo unless he is a liar and a cheater. This was the vow that Shango made as a result of being initiated into Ifa. So when we think about this, I want to ask all of us a question. How do we know what to feed the Irumule? How do we know what to give Ogun? How do we know what to give Yemaya at a particular time? We consult Ifa. Ifa has become basically the mouthpiece for these Irumule, to be the individual to assist us in translating the message so that we can get our prayers answered and manifested. And also utilizing a way for us to communicate with these Irumule, with these spiritual forces. Ifa is that process. So here's an interesting story about when Orunmila himself found himself in a challenge. And his siblings were after him. And what ended up occurring is we see where Orunmila himself figures out a way to ensure that these various Irumule and various forces begin to support and trust him and go to him for advice. This Ifa comes from Oturameji. Ifa says, the travelers in front you could not catch up with, and the travelers behind you could not wait for. If you cannot catch up with those in front, you should wait for those behind. This was the Ifa cast for Babaluwaye, for Iyamio Soronga, for Eshodara, and for Orunmila, when they were all coming from heaven to earth. They were all advised to offer Ebo. Only Orunmila complied with the advice. When they arrived on earth, only Orunmila was living comfortably. The three of them conspired against him to destroy all that Orunmila had. Orunmila was advised to offer Ebo, and he was told that it was his siblings who were waging war against him. He complied with the advice. Now, all my money, it belongs to you. All my money. Baba Lodeo Sapona O. Is it because I have money? Is that why you are angry with me? All my money, it belongs to you. Now, all my wives, they belong to you. Is it because I have a wife Is that why you are angry with me? Eshu laluo. All my wives, they belong to you. Now, all my children, they belong to you. Iamio shuranga. All my children, they belong to you. Is it because I have children? Is that why you are angry with me? All my children, they belong to you. Now, sapana o, sakpata o, dazujo, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All my money, it belongs to you. Now, eshulalu, eshudara, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All my wives, they belong to you. Now, iamio, please take this okete. Do not take human life. All my children, they belong to you. Now, what does this Ifa talk about? What is this talking about? So, let me give you the story. So, as Obaluaye was coming from heaven to earth, we all know who Obaluaye is. Obaluaye is the divinity of smallpox in general, but on a deeper level, Obaluaye is a very essential energy that connects with the earth. We're dealing with the challenges of Obaluaye at this time. So Obaluaye is also the deity that controls pestilence, pandemics, illness, all of these things. And when this Irumole was coming from heaven to earth, that Irumole had to go to Olodumare. It had to go through the same process that all of us go through in order to pick and choose our destiny when we come to this realm. What I mean by that is go through Ajala Mupin. It doesn't go through the birth process, but there's a process where they agree to their destiny. And Olodumare was present, and as Olodumare was present, Obaluaye said, "What is my destiny?" Olodumare said, "Look, here's what I would like you to do. When you go to Earth, I want you to be the one to give people money. I want you to be a deity that helps people get money." And Obaluaye said, "No, I don't want to do that. I want to be the deity that takes away people's money. I want to take everybody's money. I want to take everybody's wealth." And as we see today with people who get sick, what ends up happening when you get sick in this country is you end up paying money and money and money and money after the other to get well. So Olodumare said, "Are you sure?" Obaluaye said that is what he wanted. So he stamped the approval of it and set Obaluaye to come to the earth. Then Eshuldara comes. Eshuldara was right behind, and Olodumare says, "Eshuldara, what I would like for you to do when you come to this earth realm is I want you to support people in having good spouses. Help them to get married, help them to find the right spouse. If it's a man, help him to find the right woman. If it's a woman, help her to find the right man. Help people to find each other, fall in love, and be happy." And Eshuldara said, "I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like fun to me. What I would rather do is I want to see how to disrupt people's marriages, break up people's relationships. I want to do that. That's what I want to do." And Olodumare looked a little puzzled, and he said, "Are you sure?" Eshuldara said, "That is what I want." Olodumare stamped approval and sent Eshuldara to make his way to the earth realm. Then Iami Oshoronga comes. And we all know who Iami is. The Iami are the elders of the night. The elders of the night. Many people call them witches. Many people call them so many different names. But the Iami, before they came to this realm, they had to check in and say what their destiny would be. So Olodumare says, "Iami Oshoronga, what I want for you, I want your destiny. I want you to be the one to give people children. I want you to ensure that that women are fertile and that their pregnancies go very well. I want you to be the one to do that for them. So in this Odu, Iyami said,
Nah.
I don't want to do that. I would rather see abortion. I would rather see miscarriages and children, dying of crib death. I want to see that. I would rather take people's children away from them than give them. So then Olodumare scratched his head and he said, okay, Ashe, is that's what you want? They said, that is what I want. And he set them on their motion to come to earth. Then Orunmila comes. And of course, we know Orunmila already has done many things before he even got to the door. I'm sure he cast Ifa. I'm sure he knew what to do. So when he gets to the realm where he's choosing his destiny, choosing his purpose in this incarnation on earth, Orunmila says, Olodumare, Baba, wait. I will help people to have money. I'll be the one to give them money. And I want to be the one to help pregnant women have children. I want to be the one to help bring together families, husband and wife. I want to bring that together. I want to be the one to do that. Okay. And then Olodumare said, okay, and you'll do that and you'll do the destiny that I want you to do, the one that you are sent to do. Orunmila said yes. So Orunmila comes to earth, or he gets set to come to earth with the blessing of giving wealth, supporting people's destiny, the blessing of giving people children and giving them spouses. So he comes with all Ire on his back. So then as all of these forces are set to come to the earth, then they are finally sent. And they all arrive right around the same time in this Odu. So when they arrive, Obaluaye got to work, making people sick, taking the money, allowing their money to drain off. And Iyami, they got to work, ensuring that people could not have babies, could not give birth to stillborn babies. And then Eshu Odara got to work. He started getting in the middle of relationships and, making people cuss each other out and fight and get violent. He got in people's minds and made them argue. And what do you think happened? People of the earth were like, I don't want to mess with Iyami. We won't go to her. We won't go to Eshu Odara. We're not going to really deal with him too much. We're not going to really deal with Obaluaye too much either. And so Orunmila, on the other hand, he was feeding the people. He was giving people children, helping them have a spouse, helping them have all these wonderful things. Orunmila was the one giving those things out. And so everyone began to what? They began to flock to Orunmila. All the people began to go to Orunmila. So he was blessing people with money. So what do you think he had? Money. He was supporting people to have spouses and supporting relationships. And what do you think he had? Spouses. He was supporting people, giving them remedies so that they could have children and all of these things. And what do you think he had? Children. So he had all these things. He was wealthy. He had many wives and he had many children. And his siblings who traveled to earth with him, what do you think they did? They began to plan. And they're like, you know what? I don't like Orunmila. He thinks he's better than us. Isn't that always the case? Somebody says, he thinks better than me. Or she thinks she's cute. I remember so many fights were started in high school by young ladies. She thinks she's cute. She thinks she's all that. And that's basically what Eshu Odara, Obaluaye, and the Iyami said about Orunmila. They said he thinks he's all that. And Orunmila kept trucking and kept doing his work while they lived in poverty and destitution. So they got even more jealous. And they devised a plan to destroy Orunmila. So that first they devised a trick. So they're going to call Orunmila to come meet with them on one of the days that Orunmila was going to be doing prayers and particular rituals, so he couldn't leave. So they set it on that day, and knowing that he couldn't come, and he had to cancel. So that was then their impetus that was their excuse to basically wage war on Orunmila and to take all of his good things. So they go forward to do the deed, to do whatever they do to destroy people. And Orunmila had a dream. In his dream, all sorts of catastrophes are happening. And what a good Babalawo does, a good IdinKaa Ifa does, if they have a dream, the first thing that they do is they go cast Ifa. So he cast Ifa, and Ifa said that that dream was significant. That dream was so significant, it would be his own destruction if he didn't take action now. So Orunmila went further, and the Awo told him, it's actually your siblings who are causing your problem. 3 siblings, Iyami, Obaloye, and Eshu. They're giving you trouble right now. So Orunmila devised his own plan. And part of his plan was to offer a bow. So he offered the abo. And then the Babalawo said, and once you offer a bow, I need you to feed them individually, to give them something individually. Offer a bow to them as well. And then after you do that, then I want you to feed them. Powerful, powerful. When you think about this and the level of compassion in this, that these individuals are working against you tirelessly, yet Ifa advises him to feed them. It's very interesting. When we look at Ifa principle, when we look at Ifa philosophy, if you feed those who are trying to do you in, it would be taboo for them to harm you. That means that for you to be benevolent, for you to be forgiving to individuals who work tirelessly against you, for you to do that is to ensure their destruction. If they decide to go there, if they decide to continue to step off that line, they're breaking their own taboo. They're breaking a taboo, a force of the universe, a principle of the universe. They're breaking that. So when we think about this, Orunmila blessed them. And the first thing he did, he goes to Obaluaye's home. And he says, Obaluaye, my brother, I love you. I was wondering, do you want some money? I have this large amount of money, and I've just been waiting to give it to you because I love you so much and because I've seen what's been happening and I know you need it. And Obaluaye was taken aback. He received the money, but then the next thing he did, you know what he did? He called Eshu and Iyami. He was like, yo, Orunmila came and gave me some money. It almost felt like watching The Sopranos, like a mafia thing. And he's like, did you tell them something about us doing this thing against Orunmila? They're like, no, we didn't say anything. And so after that, Orunmila went to the home of Eshu Dara. And he said, Eshu, my brother, I know you've been lonely. There's a young lady that I met, and they introduced me to her, but I'm fine. You don't have a wife. I want to introduce you to this young lady. Her name is Agberu. So Orunmila introduced Eshu Dara to Agberu, and we all know that Eshu Dara has a spouse. That house is known as Agberu. So Orunmila he introduced Agberu to Eshodar, and Eshodar liked her, and they got married. So now Eshodar has a wife. The thing that he was taking from all these other people, now he has that. Then Orunmila goes to the home of Iyami, Oshoronga, and he says, "My sister, I love you. I was wondering, you seem lonely here in this space. I have a child, I have a daughter who wants to learn your way. She's actually very much connected to you. Would it be okay if my daughter came by and just tidied up and hung out with you from time to time?" And Iyami was like, yes. So then Orunmila sent his daughter over there to basically be a friend, a daughter, and companion of Iyami. So Iyami began to raise that daughter. When we think about all these things, I just want you to know, in Ifa, there is such an emphasis on the extended family. My children will call my sister their father, and my wife's brother will call our children will call my brother-in-law their mother. They're all extensions of us. In Orunmila taking his daughter to the home of Iyami, he was merely taking his daughter to his own house because that was his sister. So after that, he then came back around and then gave them Ebo. And they all thought to themselves, they had all the things that they needed and all the things that they ever wanted, and even the things that they were taking away from people. And they realized that Orunmila had been the one to give it to them. And what they did in that moment is they realized that Orunmila is the one who can feed us. Orunmila can be the one to support us, because we see that in many cases, Orunmila had shown us love in spite of ourselves. Orunmila had been the one, even though we worked against him, to show up and bless us. So as a result, all of those Irumole and various forces, they then elected Orunmila to be the one to feed them. So Eshodar, when he wants something, ask Ifa, or you use the tools of Ifa to figure out what, whether it's calories, whether it's opele, whether it's ikin, whether it's obi, you ask the tools of Ifa to figure out what Eshodar wants, what Iyami Oshoronga wants, what Obaluaye wants. You go to Ifa to find that information out. So when we look at this, the power of these two Ifa verses and these two stories is we all are coming to this place, this marketplace, with a purpose. All of the Irumole came to the earth with a purpose. And it was Ifa that shared with them the information on how to best manifest that purpose, how to do it. It's one thing to know, but it's a different thing to know how to accomplish it, to know the right turns to make, the right decisions to make. And this is what the Irumole also want. And when we look at how Shango lived, when we look at his life as an Irumole, as a Orisha, and we begin to follow that lifestyle, what we're actually following is a lifestyle that Ifa had mandated. That is what makes them Orisha. When we think about the term Orisha, Orisha basically means select head. It means a person or individual, an entity, a being that has come to the marketplace and left a legacy of purpose for others to follow. So when we look at this idea of the legacy of purpose for others to follow, that's a legacy of good character. That's a legacy that is mandated by, and many of the Orishas, the Irumole, the way that they learned how to do that is through consulting Ifa. I want to also talk about one other verse of IdinKaa Ifa where Olodumare himself comes. Ifa says, Erosun D is for children. IdinKaa Ifa is for a very experienced Awo. IdinKaa Ifa is a very delicate Odu. This was the Ifa cast for Olodumare Agotun. At the beginning of the world, at the expanse of time, when he was suffering because of childlessness. The heavens cry. Human beings mistake it for rain. This Odu is talking about when Olodumare himself came to get Ifa's advice. There's many Odus on this. Even in the Odu Ogunda Bede, Ifa says, a young Babalawo is he or she who will have all good things. They will have food to eat. They will have clothing to wear. They will be very prosperous. This was the Ifa cast for Olodumare Agotun, the one who makes miracles. When he was advised to offer a bow, he complied. Olodumare can do anything. He made the breeze in the Harmattan. He made the rainfall in rainy season. He made the heat of the dry season. Olodumare can do anything. So we see all these verses where even Olodumare came to cast Ifa. It's so powerful. So think about if Olodumare can cast Ifa, if Olodumare can be initiated into Ifa, what about us? Are we above Olodumare? Are we above Eshwadar? Are we above Shango to seek the advice of Ifa? To follow Ifa, to be initiated to Ifa? Are we above these Irumole? No, we're not. I say that it's the same mantra that we use all the time: finding, following, and fulfilling your destiny. That's what this is essentially about. So when we look at the power of Shango, we're looking at the power of Ifa transmitted through Shango, the power of Akamara, the power of Olodumare coming through that divinity. When we look at any of the Irumole, we're seeing Olodumare, we're seeing the grace of Ifa truly shine through. So as we begin this process of thinking about, oh, I want to worship Ifa, I want to know who my Orisha is, I say, what is your Odu? What is the Odu that comes to incarnate you? Know your Odu, because in that Odu, that's going to tell you who your Orisha is, what Irumole supports you. Because you might get an Odu Ifa that is the Odu of when Oshun was initiated. And they say, oh, you are a child of Oshun. Oh, you are a child of Shango. Shango is prominent in this because Shango came to seek advice. So as we think about all of these things, let us know that Ifa is truly greater than them all. Ifa is the solution. And I don't say that in a very candid, tongue-in-cheek way. I say that in a way of deep knowing, that when we really investigate and when we really get deep into the understanding of Ifa, we will find solutions. We'll find solutions even for the things that plague us now. The things that they say that science has no answer for. Ifa truly has the answer for. It is merely up to us to dig deeper and to get a better understanding, because all of these solutions are here on earth. And none of the Irumole were above the solution. When we see how Oshun acts in Arete Meji, Oshun uses the advice of Ifa to overcome the Iami. Oshun is not above Ifa wisdom. Orumila, you see so many verses where Orumila casts Ifa because Orumila is not above the wisdom of Ifa. So, in terms of that, all I want to say is, let us live the life of Shango. Let us live a life becoming of Shango. Let us live a life becoming of Oshun. Let us live a life becoming of Obatala. Because in following their wisdom, we're following the wisdom of Ifa. Ashe. All right, thank you all so much for tuning in today. It's been a really powerful one. Hopefully you are able to see the crawler there. We have the website that is now up. So if you're interested in anything, please go to www.IdinKaaIfaTemple.com and you can peruse the website. You can see the initiatives, the businesses, the people that we support, and you also get valuable information as to morning prayers, Ifa divinations. When we do Itadogun, we will also post it there. And if you would like to become a member, what it takes to become a member, and those of you who know me, you can communicate with me, you can communicate with my wife also, in terms of if you want to be a member and support this process, support this movement of good Ifa in America. So in terms of that, also if you are interested in helping us to continue this process and do it well, and you want to send donations, you can send that to Cash App, $, uppercase ESU, uppercase ELEGBA, Eshu Elegba. So you can do it there, or you can do it through PayPal by going to the website. So also on that website, we'll be uploading flyers for our Friday class. Every Friday we do a class at 6 p.m. Pacific time. It's on various topics that we are interested in Ifa. And a lot of times I like to ask the participants, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to know more about, so that we can bring that to you in a way that will help all of us to get more understanding and reach a fuller level of Ifa. The last class we were talking about is Ifa and transitioning from Abrahamic religions into Ifa, as well as transitioning from other mindsets and cultures into an Ifa culture. So that is such an important thing, because my thought process is that we are oftentimes limiting our concept of what Olodumare is, what the Irumole are, and what they can do, because we're looking at it through a lens of colonization. So in terms of that, this class is geared to assisting us in overcoming a lot of the challenges, a lot of the hangups, a lot of the fears associated with, practicing an indigenous African process. So we feel it in so many different ways, but as we grow, as we dig deeper, as we open our minds, open our oris even more, we'll see how great our destinies can be and how great Olodumare actually is. Okay. So in terms of that, if there are no questions, I will end. And I thank you all once again for showing up. And, you really are our support. You really are individuals that keep this work going and that keep this work interesting. So thank you. I really wish all the ladies here could just hop on camera. They look so beautiful. Dude.
Like she want to cuss.
You don't want to cuss me out? Don't cuss me out. Come on. You guys y'all put on your outfits and your inner fits.
Here, you can come on
this side. On this side. You on a trip.
Good morning. I kind of
Good morning.
Oh, they shining.
Boy.
There you go.
So this is part of the day.
She said, I want to see.
This is part of the production that keeps everything alive.
Thank you.
Everyone here. Oh, and I also want to thank Ta-Nehisi's Way. Thank you so much for assisting us with broadcasting and getting me and all of that. And thank you to my wife for getting on me. And she doesn't beat me up at all.
Okay. Good morning, Zaire.
And Annette. And my sister, Awajola. Just giving everybody shouts.
Yeah. Let's see Nico.
Mm-hmm. All right. So do you all want to be the ones to close us out with prayer?
I'll share if I yummy.
If I yummy. Oh, you don't gotta go nowhere.
I'm just making room.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
All right.
I got you. I'm about to get
Ifa, we thank you for just keeping us alive, protecting us from the coronavirus. And if any of us have had it, that we have come through it. We believe that you are our most powerful being on this earth. And I'm just grateful for every little thing and for everyone that tuned in today. May you have a blessed day. Ashe.
Thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you all next time. Ashe.
Ashe.
You need help?
I think so.
Hold on.
We all right. Thank you. Don't step on now. You hurt your foot.
Thank you all so much.